Hi, Nancy here, and in this lesson I'm going to talk to you about the freelance side hustle. We talked about the Kindle side hustle, now let's talk about freelancing. Freelance writing is a great way to promote your skills to a large audience. What do I mean by that? It means you can go out, find jobs on big blogs, write articles, write little blurbs for a website, and you're going to get your work out in front of a lot of people. So that's pretty cool. The more your name gets out there, the easier it is for you to get other jobs. Doing freelance writing lets you build experience in a lot of different niches or focusing on one niche to become the expert. So in this industry, you're either known as a generalist writer or a niche writer. A generalist writer writes about many topics, and a niche writer about one topic or even a sub-niche. I spent my freelance side hustle career as a generalist, and I wrote about everything from aerospace to Botox to the Beatles to collecting alien stuff from Roswell. You name it, I wrote it. I like a huge variety, so that fit my personality. You may want to be the side hustle writer who only writes about one topic. The cool thing about writing about one topic is that it very quickly establishes your authority in that niche, and people can come looking for you instead of the other way around. As a freelance writer, you can set your own payment terms. Now, some websites may only pay you $5 for a blog post, but once you start doing side hustle jobs, and let's say you do have your own website and promote yourself as a freelance side hustler, then you can actually set the payment you want. Also, a wide variety of writing job platforms. There are a lot of places out there that advertise writing jobs, so you won't have any trouble finding work. The cons: your income is incredibly inconsistent. You may have, 50 jobs this month, one job next month. So just be prepared to have an income roller coaster. But if you have a great month, and it gives you that extra money that you need and gives you extra money for 2 or 3 months, that's great. So it's not an issue for me. If needing a very consistent side hustle writing job is that important to you, you may want to kind of rethink the side hustle thing, because most side hustle jobs are not consistent in income. Now, you need to be proactive. You need to go out and go after jobs. If you're advertising from your own website, you have to be really clear about what you offer. So let's say that you like writing 500-word blog posts and you hate writing anything long, and somebody comes to you and wants a 6,000-word article. Sometimes when it comes to the money, it's hard to say no, but if you take on something you really hate, it's going to create such a struggle for you. It's probably not worth it in the end. So be really clear about what you offer, and that means be really clear about what you want to do. Now, you may have to deal with difficult clients. Now, if you're working with a website that hires out to bloggers, that's probably not an issue. But if you have somebody coming to you via your website, they found your website, they want to hire you for some kind of writing gig, they could be the greatest person in the world or they could be horrible. So just be aware that a con of freelance writer side hustle is you may have a difficult client and you may have problems getting paid. Again, if you're working with a business, this usually isn't an issue. If you're working with an individual who's found your website, wants you to do writing, it can be problematic. If I am doing that type of work with somebody I've never heard of, they haven't been referred by a client or a friend or a colleague, I will always get at least 50% payment up front. And legitimate business people don't have an issue with that. So, again, just, have your antenna up because you don't want to do work and then get screwed for the money. Freelance profits. What can you make being a freelancer? Well, short blog posts, well, you can make anywhere from $5 to $100. Really depends on who you're doing the work for. The posts that are very technical and especially financial pay higher and are in higher demand, but you really do need to be very well schooled in those areas. So you're going to find this, financial is the one that I see most often that pays very well, but you need to have a really good background in finance. You do have the potential of doing web content work that can last for weeks, months, even years. I've had a client that I did website work for that I worked for over 2 years. And so in that case, I actually did have a consistent income coming in from that side hustle. So that was great. And those jobs are out there. Now, if you are a niche writer and are building authority as an expert in your industry, in your niche, you can demand higher fees. It's like saying I'm going to pay Joe Blow $10, I'm going to pay John Grisham $100,000. Once you're an expert, people are going to pay you more and you can ask for more. Now, this is a good fit, being a freelance writer as a side hustle, if you're really good at going out and finding gigs. And in the lesson called Freelance Gigs, you're going to find, I'm going to teach you where to look for those gigs. So it's a good fit if you don't mind going out and being a hustler. If you like variety, this could be a good fit for you. If you don't mind getting paid fairly low to build up your platform or your portfolio, when I first got started, I took a really low-paying side hustle job for a couple of reasons. I really needed to build up a portfolio so I could say, hey, wow, look at all this stuff I've written. And the other thing is, at one point in time, I was a really, really slow writer. But this particular job forced me, the deadlines were so tight, it forced me to learn to become a fast writer. And there's a little math trick involved in learning how to write quickly, and it's in a later lesson. So if you're a slow writer, make sure you read that math lesson because it'll really help you. And it's a good fit if you're good at following through. I talked to a magazine editor once who told me that for every 3 assignments he gave, he could only count on 1 coming back in. So people love writers who are dependable and who follow through, and they'll keep giving you money. It's also a good fit if you need immediate money, because you get paid very quickly. It's not a good fit if you don't like working with other people, because as a freelance writing side hustler, you're going to be dealing with a lot of different people. If you'd rather just sit by yourself, at midnight, writing your book, doing side hustle freelance writing is not a good fit for you. If you don't want to research new topics, it's probably not a good fit, because side hustle writers tend to take on any gigs that are out there. And it's just like me and Botox and aerospace. I had to do a lot of research because I didn't know a thing about either topic. If you don't like following directions or being a team player, not a good fit, because once you get a web content or a blogging job for someplace, they know what they want, they tell you what they want, and they want you to be a good team player. So if you just like being an incredibly independent person and you don't agree with them, you don't want to do what they say, it's not a good fit. And if you don't want to stretch outside of your comfort zone, if you really love sports, you really love baseball, and somebody wants you to write about cats, and you don't want to do it, because it's too much of a stretch. You hate cats. This isn't a good fit. And it's not a good fit if you have trouble telling clients your fees. Now, I'm not talking about blog jobs or web content jobs. Blogging jobs, those fees are generally set and you know the fees going in. But if somebody comes to your website and says, I want you to write, 3 pages of web content, or I want you to write a new article every week, you have to be willing to say your fee. And a lot of writers just have a terrible time saying how much something costs because they're afraid of losing a client. You really need to be willing to be very clear about, this is my fee, and hopefully we can work together, and if we can't, I'm sorry, and hopefully I can catch you at a later time. So, okay, now that you have the lessons on Kindle and freelancing, it's time for you to actually think about which is the best fit for you, and then we'll move forward with the lessons.